After this latest apparent assassination attempt of Donald Trump, there is a growing question of how did we get to this point where this is just a common thing now? And the answer, while it might sound oversimplistic, is that we have lost religion. And in the absence of religion, we have replaced that with politics and other things. See, religion is more than just a set of beliefs that one agrees to. It is a culture, it is a lifestyle, it is a source of identity and a source of meaning and purpose and peace in many people's lives. When you take that away, then there's no objective God that we're all answerable to. There's no objective source of morality or no objective set of moral standards that we're all to strive towards. Instead, there's just power and there's might. And if I believe my side is correct, then I will use power to defeat your side. That's all there is if there's no God and there's no true religion. Also, if there's no God and there's no true religion, then what am I living for ultimately? When people give up religion and the tradition that comes with that, they tend to replace it with something like politics, like I said, or they might replace it with various ideologies that are going on around the world, like gender ideology. They might replace it with their career. Something is going to take the place of religion when it is lost. And typically the thing that takes the place of religion in that case is taken to an extreme that is very unhealthy. So with the example of politics, we see an obsession where this is the most important thing in this person's life, where they would do anything to make sure that their side wins and the other side loses, which results in things like what we've seen has been attempted against former President Donald Trump. And this is probably why many studies show that people with higher intrinsic religiosity have lower levels of political violence or violence in general. And the key word there is intrinsic religiosity. Someone who is intrinsically religious is someone who actually deeply believes in their religion. They practice their faith diligently, even if nobody else is aware of it. If they were on an island by themselves, they would continue to practice their religion even if nobody else were to see them do it. Whereas extrinsic religious people are people who only practice their religion because it is socially beneficial or because it avoids some kind of social discomfort or repercussions. However, they don't actually really believe in the religion. They only practice it as a sort of virtue signaling so that they can say that I'm part of this crowd. And they're usually the loudest religious people, quote unquote, that are out there. And studies do show that extrinsically religious people are typically more judgmental, more aggressive, more discriminatory, more prejudiced, things like that. Whereas intrinsically religious people that I described earlier are less violent, less judgmental, which is why the answer to political violence from any side, or even non-political, just pointless violence like we see in school shootings, is a deeper devotion to religion. That's what the studies show, and it makes a lot of sense, right? Because if you are a deeply religious person, and maybe an election doesn't go your way, or it looks like an election is not about to go your way, then, it's not fun, it's not great, you're not happy about it, but you have a longer vision for the future where even if the worst happens after this next election and we all die or something, we know that there's an afterlife. We know that there's a God who is directing all things for good. Even the evil that others intend, God uses for good. And also, even if somebody who you really dislike, who is you in your mind and maybe very evil, is about to take power, our religion, the Christian religion, teaches us that that person is still made in the image of God and that they are due a certain level of respect and dignity, and that if they are to be persecuting us and attacking us, that all we are to do is to pray for them. All of that is to say the way we got here to this point is unfortunately through a loss of our religious beliefs and practices, and the way we get back to a sense of normalcy and peace in the world and in this country is by returning to those original religious beliefs that our ancestors had.